Hello and welcome back to, I think, the fifth episode now in this series of the Toothless Tigers, where we are taking the Detroit Tigers hopefully back to their former glory. We're now at the end of 2024. Let's have a look how we got on. I was going to come back actually at either the trade deadline or call-ups, but to be honest, not a lot happened. We weren't doing well. It was just going to be bit of a waste of time, to be honest. So we finished up 67.95, pretty much bang on what the preseason predictions had us. We had a couple of transactions, I guess. So Jonathan Daza, we traded for him for we traded Elijah Burries, some kind of nothing first baseman, and Miguel Aparicio, who hit poorly for us. Hit a lot better for Colorado, but someone we're not going to use that much and not that excited. Daz is a good defender, good stealer, and he actually had a pretty good year with us. So it wasn't awful. Some bit of depth. Can't really complain about that, to be honest. So yeah, that was Daza. Looking at how we got on as a club then, who had a good year. Lipsius continued on his tear. Ended the year with a 3.5 win season, about a 290, 22 home runs. Excellent rookie season from him. Really happy with it. That probably going to get some rookie of the year votes. I don't think he's going to win it. Spencer keep going on in the lineup. So Riley Green had a good year, 21 home runs, 860, 760 OPS, 3 wins. Hopefully next year he can really take that next step to be a bit more of an impactful hitter. But again, really good year, really good progress from him. Nick turned it up towards the end, hit 20 home runs and hit 785 OPS. Bit of a down year from the year before, but solid bat in the middle of the lineup, who were continuing to pay, well, not a huge amount to, I guess. Phillies are covering 40% of his contract. Jace Young, look at him now, how he's developed over this first year. Excellent year from him. Not quite as good as Lipsius, but he had a really good year. Really good year. And he really looks like he can be a top of the order line bat for us going forward. But yeah, projects to have above average strike zone recognition. Very promising future ahead, we hope to. So really good and young and controllable, which is even more important. Spencer Torkelson had a good power year, 25 home runs, drove in 78, bit down on the average, 709 OPS. Was better in power. Again, needs to put more bat on ball and hit for a bit of a higher average, but I'm pretty happy with that from Torque. Nick Maton had a decent year. Dingler in his rookie year actually finished with almost a 1 wins above replacement, but an average below the Mendoza line purely because of his defense being so good. Parker Meadows came back up, hit a bit better when he was up, and Javi Baez had a pretty good year, 1.7 wins above replacement, but a lot better power out of him. OPS much higher than it has been previous years, and playing good defense, pitching. So Scooble actually went down at the end of the year. Quickly show that with a elbow inflammation, but he was our best pitcher this year. Kind of struggled towards the end before his injury, but he ended with a 6-7 record, 4.9 ERA, a 106 ERA plus 2 wins above replacement. Not bad. Best of a bad bunch, though. I think Severino wasn't great at all, really. Towards the end, I think maybe had a good month in there. September, October, all good. There are good months out of him there, but the rest of it, 15 ERA in July was not what we want to see from Severino. Casey Mize, another one who started pitching well down the stretch. Another couple of 3 ERAs months out of him in September, October, which is really good. So he turned it around a bit. Obviously, numbers don't look great. Ty Madden came up and pitched in 7 games. Started 6 of them, went 2-4, 4.11 ERA. Pretty good actually in his starts, to be honest. Got some tough losses there when we just didn't hit behind him. So excited for Ty Madden. I knew he'd come up towards the end of the season. Not really a top prospect, but certainly someone who can hopefully be a part of the club to going forward. Faido, not a bad year from him. Pretty replacement level, kind of what you want out of a 6th starter reliever guy. though he's currently fourth in our rotation. And Matt Manning, again, not a great year from him. Replacement level player. In the bullpen, Alex Langer, 28 saves. Um, Pretty, well, he's improved since last year, so it was a good year from him, from his side of things. Didn't have many games to close out, unfortunately. Gibson Long and Kevin Castro both had pretty good years out of the setup role. Kevin Castro was injured for a period of time, but Gibson Long was pretty much in the rotation, the bullpen the whole time, pitched 60 innings. Keegan Aiken, when he came over from waiver, he regressed a bit, but still pretty good out of him. Good lefty reliever out of the pen. Orvest, the All-Star, he was okay, led the league in games pitched in, 79. We used him a lot, 90 innings pitched, and not too bad of a year. Spencer Turnbull really struggled towards stretch and then moaned at me that he's not in the starting rotation. So he will be walking at the end of this year. I'm not going to bring him back. There's no need to have him. And there's other guys who I want to give a look to. So Crook, again, someone I'm not sure I'm going to bring back, to be honest. He was okay, but he wasn't anything spectacular. Nothing that we don't have in the lower echelons of the minors that we could bring up and could do as good a job as him. Joe Wentz was not too bad. Again, not sure about him. He might come back for a year. Good lefty option up Penn. And Jetson Moore came up and wasn't really anything spectacular in his pitches or his games. He pitched in 20 games in the end, started one of them. Nothing spectacular. A bit more of a look at the hitters. Colt Keith had a pretty good. This is at all levels. That's why I didn't think so. He actually still had a good OPS. Hit 310. Just struggled for playing time with Lipsius playing so well. Not quite sure what I want to do with Keith. He's kind of a very average player now. Like I said, Nick Maton was pretty good, although Nick Maton will not be coming back next year because we have Keith and Lipsius. We do not need him. And we've got options coming up. Green, we've talked about Young. We've talked about Wenzel Perez. Again, someone who just is there to kind of can play all the infield positions. I mean, he hit pretty well, to be honest, when he was playing. Doesn't want to be a bench player, I understand. Kerry Comfort didn't have an amazing year, didn't have a lot of playing time, but I mean, he still had 130 at bats and really struggled in those. He did go down to AAA for a bit, get a lot better there. Jay Rogers and Parker Meadows are rounding out the team. So we'll look at AAA and AA quickly, look at just main prospects. So Willie Calhoun is back down there. Manuel Sequeira, I mean, got to be minor league player of the year this year for us. Played across 3 levels and he hit fantastic. I wonder if I can get total. No, but if we look at it, 335, 19 homers in everything A advanced, 32 homers at AA back, 330. I mean, over 1,000 OPS at both levels, and nearly 6.2 combined WAR this year, with 52 home runs in the year. I mean, and he drove in 127 or something like that. I mean, it's no more than that, 134. I mean, absolute player in the minors for us. I'm really hoping. I mean, he's going to start next year at AAA for sure, and we can see what he'll do. But again, that's why we don't need Maton because we have someone like Manuel Sequeira. Quincy Neaport came up from AA and hit pretty well in single A. He's kind of blocked by Torkelson. He's not going to do a better job than Torkelson. I like Torkelson, so unless he was really bad, he wouldn't come up. Still Walker was clearly injured, but hit very well. Again, a bit of a stretch if he's going to do anything in the save. Feeling's probably going to walk. Kreidler's probably going to walk. And Hedges, who we brought in kind of more as a protection, is going to probably walk. Troy Melton ended the year up in AAA. He pitched across 3 levels, was good at high A, wasn't good at Erie, but he was pretty good in AAA for Toledo. Wilmer Flores kind of improved his stats towards the end. He had a poor September, but the games he pitched in July and August, he was much, much better. So potentially someone who comes out of spring training with us, depending what our rotation looks like when we get there. Gage Workman was another guy who was actually having a good year across the board. More so at AA, but he tore his back muscle, was out for 3 or 4 months. And Brant Herter back in the rotation. He pitched well this year, very well. Again, I'm not a huge fan of his stuff, but he is an option out of the pen. Looking at Double A, we've got Elijah Alfonso, came up from Erie, and then went back down. Sorry, and he had a pretty solid year, but he's a Double A man at heart, so not much I can expect from that. Tim Tower, the guy we picked up in the trade, not too bad. Sims to San Brown, pretty good from him. Chase Dollander gave him the whole season at Double A. There was calls in the comments for him to go down, but I think it was important. He fought through his struggles, and it doesn't really look like he has. He didn't really get that ERA properly down in the end. A bit of a shame. Someone who's going to probably start the level again at Double A and hopefully turn his fortunes around next season. Joe kind of regressed towards the end, but what a year from him! 4.5 wins, 180 innings pitched, really healthy year from him. 15 wins on the season, 123 ERA plus. Very happy with that. He pitched well. I mean, he was in the All-Star game, the minors, pitched excellently across the board. So, no, really happy with him. He will get a promotion to AAA. In fact, I'm going to do that now before I forget. After his season, we'll start the season at AAA and hopefully we can get some more. This guy, Juan Daniel Encarnacion, was going to be picked up for Eduardo Rodriguez. He finished the year up with us, not too inspiring. That trade is mainly to dump salary more than anything, but we can always hope something comes out for him there. Reese Olson down here, Kaida Montero, not great, not bad years. Looking at high A, we got Roberto Campos and Isaac Pacheco had a superb year down here. Went up to Double A and hit well as well, to be honest. He's just a power man, but he's going to probably start the year at Double A next year. He's a guy that we have impressed. He's impressed us, so hopefully he can continue to do so. Freddie Pacheco's down here pitched very well, actually. Someone who maybe we could call back up. Started in the he's fallen from the majors down to high A this year, but finally turned it around there. Austin Bergener had a good year. Jake Miller had a good year. Someone got good stuff, just that weirdly not high overall potential, but someone who could be an option next year if we need the depth. I don't expect us to be too good next year. And then down at Single A, Carter Mattison, that guy. So we did sign all of our draft picks, and he was excellent at Single A. We did start him up at West Michigan, but he wasn't getting really started, so I put him back down to Single A. Had an excellent year, about 270, 13 home runs, almost 1,000 OPS. And he looks like a superb pick. Really glad we chose him. Drew Bowser, another draft pick from the first season. He had a pretty good year. In fact, a very good year, 5.5 wins. He was our second supplementary pick in the first round of the 23 draft. He was excellent. He's going to move up to Double A to start the next year. I think is Eastern League. I think, yeah, he's more than capable of hitting now. So he'll be there. Carter Matheson, I may put up to Double A as well, or are we going to leave him at Single A? I'm going to leave him at. I'm going to put him up to High A at West Michigan. He can start the season there. The rest, no one. So Derek Fabian, another guy who we drafted. He was okay, 960 OPS in limited time. I'm going to leave him here. I don't know. See how he progresses. I might leave him here. Ross Dunn, no one else of note there. And then there was most of our other guys weren't here. So like George Lombard Jr. had a pretty good year. Cameron Davis, one of our draft picks. Henry Allen hit 150. Not great. Matt Champion, guy we signed. He agreed to a contract. He's very unhappy because of his team's record. So he cares about his results, which is good. But these guys will probably end up moving to Single A to start the year. We'll see how they progress as well. So quick look at what happened in the playoffs. The playoffs are just about to begin. We have just ended the season. It looks like, if I can get the playoff tree, we've got Twins, Royals, Rays, Angels in the wildcard. So 3 AL Central teams are in. And the Yankees await the winner of the Rays and Angels. And on the NL side, D-backs, Braves, Brewers, Reds, um, and then the Angels, the Dodgers, and the Cardinals. So who had the best record in the league? It was not the Cardinals. It was actually the Dodgers, just with 98 wins. No 100-win teams this year. They've got a fantastic lineup. A lot of injuries though. Mookie Betts still out, and their pitching is not overly great. Whereas the St. Louis Cardinals, look, so Shohei Ohtani's fractured his finger, so won't be a factor in the playoffs, which is not good. Newt did well, very well in fact. Great year of him. 21 homers, some 70 OPS, very good indeed. So we will see how it goes there. I'm going to simulate the playoffs now, and then I'll come back at the end of the playoffs and we'll sort out their contracts. We are now at the end of the season. The off-season has just started, and look at what happened. The Atlanta Braves beat the Los Angeles Angels in 7 games. Their pitching is quite something, to be honest, with Strider, Fried, Wright, Schuster, Soroka. Hitting's pretty good as well. But yeah, Atlanta Braves are your champions, 88 wins on the season. And they go on to win the whole thing. Acuna Jr. is a world champion. He's just a 5-tool player, isn't he? He's very good. We can only hope of having people that good one day. So yeah, that was the end of it. I was going to show you a couple of other things as well, so statistics of a quick run through of who led. This is overall, so combined. So Arias led the whole league in average 349. So he switched from Miami to Milwaukee in the middle of the season. Judge hit 53 homers. A couple other OPS was Jose Ramirez, 307, 36 homers. Vinny Pasquantino led the AL in batting average, and Corbin Carroll had a fantastic year, 8.7 wins, led the whole of baseball, probably on for his first NL MVP, and the AL MVP is probably going to be Julio Rodriguez. Amazing year from him, 74 stolen bases for Julio Rodriguez, 5-tool player. Pitching, we had Frankie Montas from the Yankees lead in ERA by quite some margin as well. Only 160 innings though, so we'll see how the voters fare on that. His teammate Rodon hit 196 innings and was excellent, 240 Ks. And Jacob DeGrom was very good. Edwin Diaz, Sugar Diaz as they call him, very good year from him, 48 saves. DeGrom is probably going to win as he pitched 235 innings. I didn't realise, almost 300 Ks. Excellent season from Jacob DeGrom, the GOAT. That was the stats, and then we also just started the international free agent signing period has begun. Well, not signing period, but the scouting period has begun. So I have just scouted a load of them, and these are the guys that I scouted. So guys that are looking pretty high in terms of our relationship. Well, none of them are too interested in us yet. Some of the best guys that like it. Gilberto Pelosa. I mean, these guys never turn out the way they look at the moment, but if they did, Jesus Christ. So we'll see how that goes. I can't run practice again, I don't think. Oh no, I can, and I have. So I'll make some adjustments by the time we get to the next month on that. And a couple of other positive things. We got a lot of emails about our players winning awards. So Drew Bowser was the FSL's top player last season, which was nice to see. And also there was one more, if I can find it. Yes, Jackson Jobe was the top pitcher in the Eastern League with his excellent season. So nice that the Miners in Detroit are doing well, but unfortunately the big league ball club is not. A couple of posted guys from Korea, nothing to get too excited about. And we did make a claim offer on one guy on the waiver wire, and it was this guy Hayden Dringer. He looks pretty good. I don't know why Miami are giving him up. Had a good year at Miami as well last year, and at AAA last year. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can. He could even start for us. The way our pitching's going, very ginger beard as well. So that was that. And then I have sent out some offers. So I've just offered all these guys one deals similar to their team offers here to avoid arbitration. Alex Lang wouldn't talk to me, so he's going to hopefully get upped to about 1.5. I have not offered contracts to Jake Rogers, Nick Maton, and Willie Calhoun. They're all going to walk. And Jonathan Daza, I'm going to offer 2.6 to him in arbitration because he won't talk to me. The rest are going. I'm not going to offer Spencer Turnbull anything. Hedges, Herrera, Profile didn't really work out as I hoped. And the rest have all got minor league deals. And if they accept, they accept. If they don't, I'm not too fast. So that is where we are. What I'm going to do is simulate now to when the free agents are announced, and then we'll have a look at quickly who won who won all the awards, and then we'll go from there. So see in a minute. We are at the free agency filings, and there are some interesting players on here. But firstly, before we get to that, a couple of housekeepers: Alex Lang and Jonathan Daza, both the commissioner's office sided with me instead of the arbitrator, instead of the player on those, which was good. Now we're just going to look at the winning of the awards. So Corbin Carroll won the NL MVP, as we said, just ahead of Shohei Ohtani, who had a Ohtani watch, 33 home runs, 880 OPS, so 4.2 win as a batter, and then a really good year pitching, 3.7. So he's had a 7.9 win season. Corbin Carroll had him beat though at 8.7, so maybe he does deserve the trophy. Rowdy Tellez, my boy, getting a couple of votes, slugging. Aaron Judge won MVP in the American League, his second. Had a really, really good year. Not as good as his 2022, but a very good year nonetheless. Just beat out Jose Ramirez and Julio Rodriguez. Austin Wells on there as well. NL MVP went to Max Fried. He got most of the votes. Superb year from Max Fried. Excellent pitcher. As we all know, Zach Wheeler, Corbin Burns got a couple of votes. Andrew Chafin, it's Tiger on there. Now a free agent, in fact, got a first place vote because he pitched 81 games or something ridiculous like that. AL Cy Young went to Carlos Rodon. He had a really good year, just beat out Jacob deGrom. Frankie Montas was on there, as we said. Oli Marmol won it, the NL Manager of the Year for the Cardinals, and Rocco Baldelli won it for Minnesota. Rookie of the Year, Jordan Lawler looks amazing now and had a really good rookie year, almost 4 wins in not quite a full season. He deserves that. And Austin Wells won the AL, 40 home runs, 6.3 win season. He was something else, Austin Wells. He's really progressed and such a good player. Jace Young got a couple of votes for his season, which is nice to see Tiger on there. Silver Sluggers from the NL, it was Will Smith, Christian Walker, Nolan Gorman, Austin Riley, Ezekiel Tavar, Corbin Carroll, Michael Harris II, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Shohei Ohtani at DH. And AL, Salvador Perez, Vladdy Jr., Andres Jimenez, Jose Ramirez, Wander Franco, Austin Wells, Julio Rodriguez, Judge, and Pasquantino. Austin Wells won the rookie, was a All-Star and won a All-Star and got an MVP vote, so hell of a year from him. Yenier Cano won NL Setup Man of the Year, and AL Setup Man of the Year was David Bednar. Gold Gloves, Yuri Perez, good pitcher now for the Marlins. Sean Murphy, Walker, Arcia Arenado, not a shock at all there. Lindor, Velasquez, Almora Jr., and Dominic Fletcher. And then the AL, you might see a surprising name on there. Riley Green won Gold Glove for the left field position. And there's the remainder of your AL Gold Glove winners. So now we're at free agency filings, and there are some interesting players on here. For a start, this guy, Hoyoji Akao. He looks amazing, and I think I'm just going to have to put an offer in for him. Torkelson may be at the end of his Detroit Tiger career because Nikau looks amazing, and I don't think I can really pass up on that. I've got the money. I've got 51 million to spend. Elvis Alvarado, interestingly, is on here. I thought I offered him a deal, but he didn't accept it. He wasn't very good, though, down in any level, to be honest. Probably will offer him a deal. and see if he'll take that, which he will. I'll give him 3 years, 7 million. He looks pretty good, so we'll do that. And then there's this guy Osama Abe, who doesn't look like he's going to hit a load of home runs, but not much else. Probably not going to go for him because I've got some captures that I can use. To be honest, our focus, I think, should, after Nakal, just because he looks generationally good, maybe a backup, a bit more of a veteran pitcher, although it's not really worked out with Severino. Maybe we don't spend too much money beyond Nakal and we wait. To be honest, our owner expecting us to acquire a player that's nationally popular, improve our unscored. So potentially that's something we look to do. I think signing Nakal absolutely could do that. He looks unbelievable. In terms of other people, Alex Bregman's on here. Don't really want to get him. Junior Severino looks pretty good, but there's no one there beyond Nakal who I'm really keen to go after on the thing. So our pitching side, Wheeler's interesting. I like him, but he's a bit on the old side now. Don't want to commit too much money to him. Glasnow, not very good movement. I've never been a fan of that, although I do really like him. Pablo Lopez would be someone who could be quite intriguing to go and get. Quite a young pitcher for that kind of money. In fact, I might just do this now. Let's see if he'll do like 3 years, 8 mil. I mean, if I can get him, that's someone who's going to throw a lot of innings for us. Could be very useful. Jeff Flaherty's really regressed. Sadly, I'm not picking him up. I don't want to do too much more, but what I do need to do is go and get this guy. Yoji Nakao, who looks quite something. He wants a huge deal. And to be honest, I'm not totally against giving him something like this. I potentially want to give him 5 years. And I'll give him a couple of opt-outs. I don't really want that first opt-out. I'm not going to include that one. I kind of want him to be a bit more controllable. And I quite like to just do 22 for all, 22.6 for all. Okay, I'm going to submit that. 5 years, 113 million. It's a lot of money to commit to someone who's not proved himself. By those stats, he's going to be one hell of a slugger, 6'8" as well. Unlike Japanese man to be 6'8". Spencer Torkelson may have to move out to the outfield, and to be honest, not something that's too concerning for me because he's got a good arm and he's got good range and good enough for a corner outfielder. And to be honest, someone like Riley Green, he can go and play centre field, and he can play a really good centre field, or even just goes to right field. There's a lot of options we've got here with Torkelson, so it's not going to spell the end per se to his career as a Tiger. But maybe it's something we need to look at. If Parker Meadows going to play, I mean, Nick can DH, so it's not too much of a problem there. I think Torkelson probably could end up being a bit more of an outfielder. So let's see what happens. But firstly, we need to go and sign him. So I think that will actually bring this episode to a close. We know our intentions, and I should be back for when we get to spring training, and by then I'm hoping I will have Nikal and I will have maybe some more players to bring to you, and we'll have set the spring training roster and we can see who we want to get a look at from a very young side. I like to bring up very young guys, get a bit of experience, but also those fringe guys and see where we could be. So that will be it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.